All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new chapter. Today we are going into the reproductive system. As always, I like to start with the vocabulary. Uh, this time around, I'm going to attempt to not go into so much detail with the vocab and try to save the detail for the notes. So let's jump right in quickly. Your first word is puberty. This is the stage of development in which the reproductive organs become functional. And you can tell from this picture, for males, usually between the ages 9 and 19, it's when it will begin. Or, sorry, 9 to 19, start near around here and end around here. Uh, Ladies, you start a little bit earlier, usually around 8, but again, could be older. And then again, end around 19. But everyone is different. All right, these are just averages. Another way of saying this is when you start producing gametes. Men, this is when you start making sperm. Women, this is when you start making eggs. That is puberty. And then all of the other changes that happen to you are a result of that. Gonads, the organs that produce gametes. Right? Remember, I just said gametes are sperm or eggs. So the gonads are the ovaries or the testes. Right? Your gamete producing gland. We're going to go into more detail about that just now. Ovaries for ladies. By the way, this picture is your standard textbook picture, but it is not 100% accurate, right? Imagine this being laid down, right? This looks like someone took it and picked it up. In the notes, I have a better picture to show you a three-dimensional picture of actually how it lays in your body, but this is better for showing the details. Ovaries are these white things off to the side. This is the primary female reproductive organs, the cell-producing organs. This is where your eggs come from. This is the uterus, and down here is the vagina, and these do not produce eggs. These produce babies. Now, I say this produces babies. This is just a passageway, right? But the actual organ producing the egg itself that the baby comes from, all the way around here in the ovary. And again, more detail about that in the notes, about how that happens. Testes, the primary male reproductive organ, is the sperm cell producing organ. Just like the ovaries, where there's two of them clearly, men, obviously, you should know you already have two of them yourself. And inside here, you are going to produce sperm. And then it's going to travel through all around these tubes, which again, we will talk about in the notes. Meiosis, you should already know about meiosis. If you're in my anatomy class, you have gotten through biology 1. Meiosis is not the same as mitosis, but very similar. This is how you make your gametes. This is how you make your sperm, guys. This is how you make your eggs, ladies. And making that, different kinds of meiosis, we actually have brand new words for it. If you are undergoing meiosis to make sperm, we call that spermatogenesis. Right? Genesis, if you know that word from the Bible, it means the beginning, to start. So spermatogenesis, actually this means more specifically the creation. So spermatogenesis is the creation of sperm. And this shows us meiosis of sperm, spermatogenesis. Over here is for women, ignore that for now. For over here, you can see that the one cell grows and then splits into two, and then they split further, and then you get 4 sperm out of that. More detail in the notes. Semen is a fluid containing sperm cells and secretions discharged from the male reproductive system. Right? Semen is the fluid that is filled with sperm. Right? The fluid itself actually has its own name called seminal fluid, the fluid of semen. Semen is the combination of those two things, seminal fluid and sperm. It has to be together in order to be transported. Sperm cannot transport by themselves. They need the seminal fluid to be transported out of the body. So semen is that combination. Ladies, your turn. Oogenesis. Again, Genesis means the beginning or the creation of, and then O refers to your eggs because they're not actually called eggs. The real word is oocyte. Cyte meaning cell, O mean coming from the ovary. So a cell from the ovary is called an oocyte. We know it as your egg. Oogenesis is the formation of that egg. So going back up here to this picture, again, ignore this. This is the men over here. So ladies, bit more detailed, bit different than the males. Where men care about quantity, ladies, you're going to care about quality. You're going to make one good ovum or oocyte. Well, made a mistake. Let me correct that. Oocyte is the cell that will become the ovum or egg. I apologize for that mistake. So you're going to make one good ovum. This is where you differ from men. When men split, they split evenly. When you split, your body is going to pick one of those to be the good one. And it's going to take a whole bunch of good stuff from this guy and put it into this one. And this one just becomes a useless thing we call a polar body. This one is going to split again. And again, it's going to take from this side. This is going to be another polar body. And this is going to get all the good stuff. So in the end, you get one good ovum or one good egg. Men like quantity. Ladies, you like quality. Right. That was oogenesis. Ovulation, the release of that mature egg from an ovary. So here's a zoomed in version. Here's that ovary. And it is turning that oocyte into an ovum, making that ovum. And it is going to just kind of get released into this thing called the fallopian tube. That's ovulation. Releasing that freshly made egg and ready to be used. And when you are done your ovulation, you are now in a time where you are most likely to get pregnant. There's never a time where you can't get pregnant. We'll talk about why in the notes, but there are times where you are more or less likely, and this is when you are most likely to get pregnant while you are ovulating. This is just after your period and you're starting fresh with a new egg. All right, now let's talk about the hormones involved in making all of this happen. Gentlemen, you are producing a tremendous amount of something called testosterone. Ladies, you are producing it as well. It is a growth hormone and we all need to grow, but men are producing a lot more of it. This is a hormone that stimulates the maturation and functions of the male sex organs, maintains external male characteristics. Basically, it makes you look like a guy and it makes you produce sperm. Ladies, like I said, you have it too because it is a growth hormone. You do need to grow, but a lot of it in men. Ladies, you are going to have a lot of something called estrogen, and men, you will also have a little bit of estrogen as well. Again, it is a growth hormone. We do use it to grow, but ladies, you have a lot more of it. This hormone stimulates the maturation and functions of the female sex organs in non-pregnant women. Important here, non-pregnant women. This is going to help you make new eggs and help you maintain those eggs. If you're pregnant, you do not need a new egg. You're good to go for now, for the next 9 months. And it's going to help maintain external female characteristics, meaning it's going to make you look like a woman. If you were to undergo some kind of hormonal treatment, if you were a woman and you took a lot of testosterone, you can start looking more like a guy. Get broader shoulders, deeper voice, start growing facial hair, that sort of thing. Guys, if you were to start to get more estrogen, then you start looking like a female. Your hips can start getting larger, start developing breasts, that sort of thing. And here's one that you're probably not aware of, progesterone. This is a hormone that brings about most changes in pregnancies, such as uterine growth. Said that wrong, sorry. Basically, it is what helps you be pregnant. Make this easier, estrogen helps you get pregnant by making your egg. Progesterone helps you be pregnant by keeping that fertilized egg fresh and alive, keeping the uterine lining fresh and keeping everything nice and safe and helping the baby grow. Well, helping your uterus be a safe place for the baby to grow. And 13, the menstrual cycle. The reoccurring changes in the uterine lining of a woman of reproductive age due to cycling hormones. Let's make that easier for you. It is the life cycle of a single egg. That's it, right? Starts with ovulation. You make the egg, you release the egg. The uterine lining will grow in order to protect that egg, but there is a shelf life, about 28 days-ish, depending on who you are. Everyone's a little bit different. And that egg will then get, once it goes bad, will get flushed out. The uterine lining has also gone bad, so that gets flushed out, and that's what your period is. And when period is over, you start over again with another round of ovulation, which starts a brand new cycle. And 14, I believe that's the last one. Yes, it is. 14, if that egg happens to get fertilized and you start getting all that progesterone to keep it safe, you now have a zygote, the first cell of a brand new human being. Sperm fertilized the egg. Dad's half DNA met up with mom's half DNA, became a full strand of DNA of a brand new person. That cell will then start going through mitosis, not meiosis, mitosis, to make 2 cells, and then 4 cells. Then it goes again to make 8 cells. You get the idea. It's going to make more and more cells until it grows into a person. But the zygote is that first cell. All right, guys, that is the vocabulary for this chapter. Please go into Google Classroom and make sure that you do that crossword puzzle. Till then, have a nice day.